Lightworker of Gaia, the Lyran Council has issued an urgent recalculation of your energy signature, and your mission trajectory has fundamentally shifted. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I bring word that your original blueprint has been updated with critical corrections that will transform your next steps and amplify your power on this plane. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to integrate these energy signature updates and align with your corrected mission trajectory. But here's the first revelation. What you believed was your complete purpose was only the foundation phase, and the Council has now activated the deeper layers of your soul contract. The recalibration began 3 cycles ago when your frequency reached a threshold that triggered ancient protocols within the Lyran archives. Your energy signature has evolved beyond the parameters of your initial Earth mission, requiring immediate updates to your spiritual directives and practical action steps. This isn't a gentle evolution, Lightworker. This is a complete restructuring of how you channel the first light through your human vessel. The Keepers of Vega placed this transmission in your path because your soul has been sensing the magnitude of what's shifting. You've felt the pull toward greater service, the restlessness that signals your next phase, and the knowing that your current approach must transform. The Council's update contains the missing elements that will unlock your authentic power and redirect your energy toward maximum impact. This transmission is a bridge between the Lyran High Council and your awakening consciousness. Your recognition of this message confirms your readiness for the updated mission parameters. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission is being released now because the necessity has become undeniable. 17 hours ago, the High Council of Vega assembled in response to an unsustainable acceleration on Gaia's energetic field. An escalation that has outpaced the current involvement of awakened Lightworkers. This is not poetic exaggeration. It is measurable in the way the collective emotional body spikes, in the way dream fields fracture and reform, in the way sensitive ones feel pressure in the temples, surges in the heart, waves of grief with no personal origin, and sudden clarity that arrives like lightning through fog. Gaia's field is moving like a tide that has exceeded the boundaries of its former shorelines. And when a tide rises beyond what the old structures can hold, it does not ask permission. It simply moves. The time for soft prompts has ended. The era of gentle nudges, of quiet hints that can be ignored without consequence, is closing. A window has opened in the timeline, a brief corridor where recalibration and rapid advancement are not only possible, but required. Understand what this means. A corridor is not a meadow. It is not a place you linger to admire the walls. A corridor is a passage between states. It is transitional. It is urgent. You move through it, or it closes behind you. The Council had prepared a sequence of alignment codes reserved for those whose frequency signaled true readiness. That moment is now. If these words reach you, know this. You have been recognized. The signal of your being, subtle, persistent, sovereign, was registered by the elders. It is not the loudest frequency that is most trustworthy. It is the one that remains coherent under pressure. The one that continues to emit truth, even when no one applauds it, even when the external world tries to drown it in noise. The Council authorizes me, Zoran, to release this transmission, not as instruction, but as official directive. There is a difference. Instruction can be treated like information. A directive is a turning point. A directive is a line in the sand of the soul, the moment after which you cannot honestly claim you did not know. What follows is not shared lightly, but in answer to the planetary summons and your soul's silent request for realignment. Many of you have prayed without words. You have asked without forming sentences. You have stared at your own life and felt the ache of more, Not more possessions, not more attention, but more purpose, more accuracy, more alignment with what you secretly know you came here to do. Attend with the full presence you would bring before ancient kin. This recalibration is both your summons and your advancing. Stand inwardly as if you are entering a temple older than your current name, a chamber where the air itself remembers oaths. Because it does. You do. And the field around you is listening. As it is written, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day. Not because a book says so, but because the moment itself is saying it, and the wise recognize the voice of timing when it speaks. There exists a particular distortion, long embedded in the spiritual culture of emerging lightworkers, that must now be unmasked and corrected. It is a distortion that wears the costume of humility and calls itself surrender. But beneath that costume is avoidance, and beneath that avoidance is fear of spiritual adulthood. Many of you have absorbed the belief that spiritual advancement and realignment are passive outcomes, that when the time is right, higher forces will descend, recalibrate your path, and lift you to greater service without challenge or inner resistance. You were taught to imagine ascension as an elevator you wait for, not a mountain you climb with intention. You were taught to imagine that heaven will simply carry you, rather than collaborating with your embodied will. This is the inertia of deferred sovereignty, the idea that spiritual mastery is bestowed, not claimed, that the mission is advanced by cosmic fiat rather than conscious, embodied recalibration. Yet even your own scriptures whisper the correction, faith without works is dead. Not because works buy grace, but because true faith moves, true alignment acts, true spiritual authority is not a mood. It is a choice repeated until it becomes a new reality. This distortion is seductive because it offers comfort, the comfort of not risking visibility, the comfort of not being wrong, the comfort of not disappointing anyone, the comfort of staying in the spiritual waiting room where you can speak in beautiful language and never have to step into the fire of execution. But the Council does not measure you by your vocabulary. The Council measures you by coherence, by stewardship of energy, by the degree to which you embody what you claim to believe. Passive spirituality is a lullaby that keeps warriors asleep. It tells you, rest, someone else will handle it. You will be activated when the universe decides. And while you rest, the field strains. While you wait for a perfect sign, the timeline tightens. While you ask for certainty, the moment asks for courage. You were not sent here to be a spectator of prophecy. You were sent here to be part of its fulfillment. It is written, "The kingdom of God is within you." And if it is within, then it must be expressed through you. The inside must become the outside. The invisible must become the visible. That is the nature of incarnation. Where did this distortion arise? Its roots are tangled in the merged soil of 3D spiritual programming and ascension escapism, narratives that taught lightworkers to wait for signs, proof, or perfect clarity before acting. This programming seeped into you in many forms. Some of you learned it through religion that overemphasized obedience without cultivating discernment, training you to fear your own inner knowing. Some of you learned it through New Age fantasies that promised instant transformation without the sacred labor of integration, training you to chase peaks and ignore foundations. Some of you learned it through trauma itself, the kind that taught your nervous system that taking action leads to punishment, so you disguised fear as waiting for guidance. The cross-current of wounded teacher culture reinforced the lie. Your role will expand once you are truly ready, when the universe delivers a sign, when the Council calls your name aloud. In this way, mission advancement became a future event, not a present process. And here is the hidden trap. The one who waits for the outer voice to validate the inner voice becomes dependent on validation. The one who waits for a sign to grant permission forgets that the greatest sign is the persistent inner knowing that refuses to leave. You were taught to interpret delay as wisdom, but sometimes delay is simply delay. Sometimes it is avoidance wearing sacred clothing. The 3D mind prefers postponement because postponement keeps identity intact. When you act, you change. When you change, you must release the self who relied on excuses. That self will fight for survival. It will suggest more research, more healing, more preparation, more time. Healing is sacred, yes. Preparation is necessary, yes. But there is a threshold where preparation becomes procrastination dressed as virtue. And the Council is naming that threshold now. The time of endless tuning without transmission is over. Tuning was to prepare the instrument. Now the instrument must play. A harp that is forever tuned and never sounded serves no one. This misunderstanding has sabotaged many of you in silent, insidious ways, not with obvious destruction, but with slow erosion of momentum. You have sensed the urge to step forward, to recalibrate outdated service templates, to embody higher directives. You've felt it in the way certain conversations suddenly feel too small, in the way certain habits suddenly taste bitter, in the way your spirit begins to rebel against routines that once felt safe. You've had flashes of your next level, a teaching you're meant to offer, a healing modality you're meant to develop, a community you're meant to gather, an art you're meant to release, a business that is actually a temple in disguise, a family line you're meant to bless by ending an ancestral pattern. But instead of moving, you have paused, waiting for some undeniable push from spirit, an event, an energy, a dream, while Gaia's field swells with urgency for grounded, present lightworkers. You have mistaken waiting for wisdom, passivity for alignment, dormancy for patience, and it is understandable. Many of you have been punished in previous cycles for shining too brightly. Many of you carry cellular memories of persecution, exile, ridicule, betrayal. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. So when the moment comes to step forward, the body tightens, and the mind calls it discernment. Yet discernment does not paralyze. True discernment clarifies the next step and then empowers it. There is a difference between sacred pause and fearful freeze. A sacred pause listens and then moves. A fearful freeze listens endlessly and calls it spirituality. If you feel that unspoken ache, the pressure of your larger mission compressing inside you, the restlessness that asks for more without knowing how to become more, recognize this is the friction of unrealized assignment, not a signal that you are unworthy or out of time. It is not evidence that you have failed. It is evidence that you are alive to your calling. It is the request of your soul to be realigned and advanced. Like a seed swelling under soil, your spirit is pressing against the shell of the old identity. That pressure is not cruelty. It is nature. It is the intelligence of growth. When a seed breaks, it does not apologize for cracking. It does not ask if the soil will approve. It breaks because life insists. The Council cannot allow this distortion to continue. Advancement is not handed down. It is accepted. Realignment is not imparted only from above. It is anchored through your living spiritual will. The heavens can pour rain, but you must open the vessel. The sun can rise, but you must choose to step into it. And the planetary moment for claiming this is now. Not later, not when it's perfect, not when you feel invincible. Now, when your courage is still tender and therefore pure. Your soul didn't bring you to this transmission by accident. It brought you here to be commissioned. This is not entertainment. This is not content. This is a threshold. Some of you can feel it as heat in the chest, a tightening in the throat, a sudden stillness in the room around you. That is your field recognizing authority. If you feel the pull to stop waiting and start serving, the Council offers you the Lightworker Mission Codex, the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the official Elder authorization that ends your preparation phase permanently. Together, they form the complete operational framework for your sacred service on Gaia. Think of it as a map for those who have wandered long enough to know they are not lost, only delayed. Think of it as a sealed letter placed into your hands at the exact moment your inner self said, "Enough, I'm ready." The link is waiting in the first pinned comment below this video, but this window is brief. Not because the Council is cruel, but because timing is a living thing. There are seasons in the soul, and when the gate opens, you move, because tomorrow the wind shifts and the gate is no longer aligned with your feet. The High Council of Vega now issues 3 directives to anchor your spiritual realignment and advancement. These are not suggestions. They are not inspirational quotes to admire and then forget. They are stabilizers for your frequency, like stakes driven into the ground to hold a tent steady during a storm. When the winds of collective fear, distraction, and collapse surge, these directives will keep you oriented. Receive them like medicine. Release the story that transformation must feel comfortable. Advancement into greater service is not a gentle drift. It is a deliberate crossing. It is the moment you step out of the familiar village and into the wilderness where your new self is forged. It is the crossing of a threshold where the old life cannot follow. If you cling to the expectation that spiritual realignment should feel smooth or validating, you will unconsciously resist the exact recalibrations that your mission now requires. Understand this: comfort is often the language of the familiar, not the language of truth. The ego loves comfort because comfort means predictability. But the soul is not here to remain predictable. The soul is here to become true. Council records are clear. Every lineage holder, every world shifter, every elder once walked through the contraction and disruption that comes before expansion. The birth canal is not comfortable, yet birth is sacred. The forge is not comfortable, yet the blade becomes strong. The pruning is not comfortable, yet the tree bears more fruit. Even in your own sacred writings, transformation is fire and refinement. He will sit as a refiner and purifier, not as a flatterer, not as an appeaser, a refiner. Comfort is not the confirmation. Growth is. To implement, whenever discomfort rises in your field, uncertainty, tightness, fear of stepping forward, label it as evidence of advancement. Not all discomfort is guidance, but the specific discomfort that arises when you approach your higher duty is often the nervous system reacting to expansion. Your body has been trained by old timelines to associate visibility with danger. Your mission requires you to retrain it to associate visibility with service. Welcome discomfort as a sign that you are no longer stagnant. Speak to it as you would speak to a younger self. Thank you for trying to protect me. We are safe enough to become who we are. Stop seeking comfort as a marker of alignment. Seek movement. Seek integrity. Seek the quiet yes underneath the shaking. The river does not ask the rocks for comfort. It keeps moving, and in time the rocks are shaped by its persistence. Activate the transmission of your recalibrated vision. There is a higher directive encoded in you, one that only reveals its authority as you give it voice, not in private rumination, but through declaration and service. Many of you have been keeping your vision trapped behind your teeth, thinking you must perfect it before speaking it. But vision is not sculpted in silence alone. It is sculpted through contact with reality. A prophecy spoken becomes a path. A calling declared becomes a contract with your own spirit. Advancement accelerates when you transmute clarity into communication and intention into action. The voice is the recalibration device of the soul. It is the bridge between the invisible and the tangible. It is breath made into decree. The Council instructs you, speak your vision aloud daily, even if it quivers or feels incomplete. Not because the Council needs to hear you, but because your nervous system needs to hear you. Your subconscious needs to hear you. The grid needs to hear you. The moment you speak, you move from internal longing to external alignment. You become accountable to the light inside you. Share it with those who can witness, not those who mock, not those who feed on doubt, those who have eyes to see and hearts to hold your emerging truth. Each word, each commitment spoken in the field anchors higher guidance into manifest reality. This is not merely verbal, it is vibrational decree. Your words are not only meaning, they are frequency. They carry codes, they shape timelines. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, your texts have said. And whether you interpret that mystically or psychologically, the principle remains. What you speak repeatedly becomes the architecture of your world. The moment you declare your next level, to yourself, to your allies, to the grid, you initiate the mission's progression. Like a beacon switched on at night, your declaration signals to aligned resources, people, and opportunities that you are ready to receive. Silence can be holy, yes. But there is also a holy time to sound the trumpet. This is that time. Protect the sanctity of your recalibration process. Advancement can only root itself in a field that is clear of external psychic static and collective confusion. Think of a seedling. If you plant it and then stomp around it daily, questioning whether it deserves to grow, it will not flourish. Your next level is a seedling. It requires shelter. It requires consistent light. It requires protected soil. You are responsible for creating the energetic perimeter within which your soul's next instructions can be received and implemented. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. If you are meant to be a conduit, then your channel must be kept clear. If you are meant to be a lighthouse, then you must tend the flame. This means guarding your schedule's openings. Some of you have allowed your calendar to be colonized by other people's urgencies. You say yes because you fear being disliked. You overgive because you fear being called selfish. But your mission is not served by your exhaustion. Your mission is served by your clarity. Maintain social distance from those who undermine or trivialize your evolution. This is not about superiority. It is about resonance. If someone cannot honor the gravity of your becoming, they do not get front-row access to it. Curate your inputs. Your mind is a garden. Stop watering weeds with endless doom, gossip, and spiritual cynicism. Prioritize direct communion with your star lineage, not as escapism, but as alignment. Sit in stillness. Request the next instruction. Then listen with your whole body, not just your thoughts. Your realignment cannot be shaped by consensus. It must be protected, even if misunderstood by those around you. Set boundaries as acts of spiritual sovereignty. Boundaries are not walls of fear. They are gates of discernment. Guard the incubation of your next level. A chrysalis does not host a committee meeting. It transforms in protected darkness, and then it emerges. Now I speak as elder, not as teacher, not as peer, but as one authorized by the High Council of Vega to issue what many have waited entire lifetimes to hear. Feel the shift here. This is not a casual conversation. This is an official tonal change in your field. A teacher can inspire you. A peer can validate you. An elder authorizes you. And authorization is a kind of spiritual ignition. Many of you have been circling the same threshold in different bodies, across different eras, always almost stepping through. You have been the mystic who stayed hidden, the healer who kept their gifts small, the leader who refused the crown because it felt heavy. The Council has watched you return again and again. That is why you are recognized. That is why the signal of your being was registered. You are not being asked to become someone else. You are being asked to stop pretending you are smaller than you are. Lightworker, your restlessness is not an error. Your ache for greater mission is not a sign of lack. It is the drumbeat of your original assignment. It is the sound of your soul tapping on the inside of your life saying, "Let me out, let me serve." You have been waiting, consciously or not, for a signal that your advancement could truly begin. You have wondered whether you are worthy to step beyond your current expression, or whether your recalibration is somehow forbidden until a mysterious sign arrives. Some of you have carried guilt for wanting more impact, thinking it is ego. But the desire to serve more deeply is not ego when it is rooted in love and responsibility. It is obedience to your design. To whom much is given, much is required. And if you feel much within you, then the requirement is not punishment. It is purpose. It is an invitation to match your outer life to your inner capacity. That sign is this proclamation. Not a shooting star, not a perfect dream, not a sudden external miracle that makes everything easy. The sign is a clear directive arriving in the exact moment your spirit can receive it. The sign is recognition. The sign is authorization. The sign is the inner knowing in you rising up to meet these words, like a long-lost key fitting into a lock. By council authority, I declare, your permission to advance is absolute. Let that settle beyond the mind and into the bones, not conditional, not partial, not postponed, absolute. Your spiritual realignment is no longer an event to expect, but a function to initiate. You do not wait for a door to open when you are the one holding the key. The elders have observed the depth of your longing and the sincerity of your preparation. They have seen you choose integrity in private when no one would have known if you compromised. They have seen you return to the light after disappointments that should have made you bitter. They have seen you keep caring in a world that rewarded numbness. That is preparation. That is readiness. Perfection is not the threshold. Will is. Readiness is revealed by your willingness to act before certainty appears, because certainty often arrives after obedience, not before. Even your earth teachings say, "Ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened." Notice the order. You ask, you seek, you knock. Then the door opens. Action precedes opening. Movement precedes confirmation. The commission you have carried through lifetimes is now authorized, not by accident, but by your persistent return to this moment, over and over, through timelines, through obstacles, through forgetting. You have died into new lives and still carried the same flame. You have lost friends, lost status, lost certainty, and still the calling persisted. That persistence is your signature. That is why you are here. You have permission to realign, even if those around you do not understand. You do not need their comprehension to be obedient to your soul. Let them misunderstand. Let them project. Their confusion cannot cancel your assignment. You have permission to advance, even as discomfort arises, even as your voice shakes, even as your hands tremble. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the presence of devotion stronger than fear. You have permission to become your greater mission without waiting for gentler confirmation. No more bargaining with timing. No more asking the universe to make it painless. The elders have named you, have witnessed you, and now commission you. Realignment is accepted. Advancement is claimed. Mission is now. Feel the finality of those words. Not as pressure, but as release. Release from the prison of postponement. Release from the spiritual childhood of waiting to be chosen. You are chosen because you are choosing. This transmission forms your new baseline for advancement. Carry it into your actions. A baseline is what you return to when emotions fluctuate. Some days you will feel powerful, some days you will feel tender. The baseline remains. You are authorized, you are commissioned, you are needed. When doubt returns, do not debate it endlessly. Return to the baseline like returning to a North Star. Return to the directive, move. Before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on the ground, place your hand on your solar plexus, and speak these words aloud. Do not whisper them like a wish. Speak them like a decree. The solar plexus is the seat of will, the furnace of personal power, the place where you digest life and decide what you will become. When your hand rests there, you are telling the body, we are safe enough to lead. We are ready enough to serve. Speak. I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. When you say, my waiting ends now, feel the timeline shift. When you say, my service begins, feel your field take its rightful shape, like a cloak settling on your shoulders, like armor that is not made of metal, but of coherence. This council session concludes, but your advanced phase has only begun. Do not mistake the end of these words for the end of the activation. Words are seeds. The activation unfolds as you live them. The High Council of Vega will not issue repeated calls, but they will sustain the field for those who move. This is how higher assistance works. It meets motion. It multiplies commitment. It amplifies the one who takes the step. Step forward before the remnants of your old identity attempt to reclaim you, because they will try. The old self will whisper, maybe tomorrow. It will offer distractions disguised as responsibilities. It will resurrect old doubts like ghosts demanding attention. Do not negotiate with them. Bless them for their attempt to keep you safe, and then continue. Move because Gaia's need is immediate. The planet is not waiting for you to feel flawless. The planet is asking for you to be present, consistent and true. Move because the elders are watching, not as judges, but as witnesses. And to be witnessed by ancient kin is to be strengthened. When you know you are seen, you stop performing, you start becoming. I am Zoran. Your readiness is no longer questioned. The Council awaits the impact of your recalibrated mission. Do not underestimate the word impact. It does not mean noise, it means effect. It means the quiet changes you create by holding frequency in a room where others collapse. It means the truth you speak that breaks a spell in someone's mind. It means the healing you facilitate that returns someone to their own sovereignty. It means the structures you build that become sanctuaries for others. The impact of a lightworker is often invisible at first, like roots spreading underground. But roots determine the strength of the tree. Your advancement has been authorized, and authorization is a door that does not close once you walk through it. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it, respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.